and welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is your weekly rundown of the biggest and best tournaments happening all over the world for Warhammer 40,000. My name is Paul, your host. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri.
G'day.
And Dustin Henshaw.
G'day.
How's everybody doing, chat? How are y'all doing? Actually, we are a couple minutes late going live. Otherwise, this happens live on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time each and every week. If you listen to us after the fact, we have a great chat community. Come and hang out. Chat community, we just recorded part 2 for our Patreon from last week. You should, if you can, you should check that out. It's for tier 2 subscribers and above over on Patreon. We had a fun time just doing that. But that's why we're a couple minutes late today. So sorry for that. Let's just jump right into it. We have 2 amazing events to cover. We got the Monsterland Major 2 and the SSG Miniature Metropolis. I'm looking forward to it. How are y'all doing today?
Pretty dang good, mate. Lots of 40K to be had, and it is a great time out there to be having it.
This is what we live for, boys. We live for our 40K, right? Our talks every week.
That's it. That's it. I mean, I play the game so that I can talk to you guys.
It's true.
Like, the games are relevant.
I
just like talking with my mates about things.
Look, we would probably be doing this anyway. We just turn the cameras on. You know, that's
it's true.
Nurgle Matt, good to see you. Dorian KR, Ivor, welcome to the chat, everybody. If you are tuning in, let us know what's going on with y'all. How y'all hanging out? Where are y'all at with our rankings on some of the things we'll talk about later? And y'all know what we're talking about. We'll see where we've already got some comments about how wrong we were.
We're not wrong. We're never wrong. We've proven that.
I think once all is said and done, everyone's going to agree.
Oh, I do I do have to respond to one of the comments that I feel really bad that we did miss Demolition Man in action. Now, it wouldn't have won, but it definitely needs an honorable mention because that is a great action movie.
We got to talk about that later on. No, we do only have 2 events to cover, so we got a little bit of time that we can talk about some of this stuff. But the fast food wars,
it's coming.
It could be coming. You never know.
Ooh, that's
learn how to work the shells early. So you're right. We probably should have talked about it.
So, next time I'm over in the States, you're going to have to let me try all the fast foods over there because I'm assuming it's going to be dominated by American brands. And I don't know. I mean, I've had many of them, but there's many still left.
Oh, well, Simon says, let's get to Monsterland 2. Monsterland Major 2. This is in Rhein. Is it the Rhine?
You're Rhine.
Germany? Right. Yeah, I put a lot of vowels in there, and I hit them all.
You hit them all.
Mode. 120 players over 5 rounds. Dustin, what are we going to see there?
For the Imperial Super Faction, we're going to be seeing 3 Sisters of Battle, 6 Custodes, 6 Astra Militarum, 6 Grey Knights, and then 8 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's going to be 8 Astartes, 3 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 5 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch. Chaos are 3 Chaos Space Marines, 1 T-Sun, 2 Death Guard, 5 World Leaders, 5 Emperor's Children, 10 Demons, 7 Chaos Knights. Xenos, 8 Necrons, 7 Orcs, 6 Votan. Highbind, 3 Tyranids, 2 Genius of the Cult. Not showing off. I don't mind that. Eldari, there is 12 Eldari. The faction, I had so much hope. The faction podium is Eldari topping it off with 12, and then Demons behind them with 10, but then Krons, Astartes, and Imperial Knights behind that with 8.
Yeah, this is an interesting spread, not for what is here, but what is not here.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a single Tau at this event. There is not a single Adeptus Mechanicus at this event. Did I remember correctly? Is this the one? Yeah, so of course there's no Agents, no Surprise. There's no Templars here either. But 0 Tau is a little bit telling about their current place in singles at least, which is a little bit disappointing. Well, just depressing almost that they feel like they don't have enough agency to get going here. Big Imperial Knights numbers, they are absolutely on the rise. Demons actually, being played everywhere because essentially, as far as we can tell here as the Meta Chasers, in singles, Shadow Legion just has like one of the most even performing, things. It doesn't really seem like it has any really bad matchups. I think Emperor's Children is being touted as one of the bad ones out there. And I do believe Death Guard is going to be a bit worrisome for them, but they do have tech. They're demons. They've got infinity data sheets. They can tech into something else, see if they can find a way.
Glad you pointed that out. It will take some time for them to adapt, though. So that first couple of weeks here, the Emperor Children start to roll out, and when the Death Guard start to roll in, it might be rough for some of those established lists out there.
So if I had to guess, I'm going to say Crushes is one of the ways that they can get a little bit going versus the Death Guard, because the Mortal Wounds is what you want to do to ignore that ridiculous toughness save, invulnerable save combo. Just like hit them with enough Mortal Wounds to break them and get on going through. But you got to be pretty good at playing the units. Anything spicy you boys are seeing here in the faction lineup?
Spicy wise, not really. Seeing higher demons is not really surprising right now. The Imperial Knights staying high right now,
Yeah. And Chaos Knights are in high numbers as well. They got 7 also. So there's like 15 Knight players in out of 120. So, more than 10%.
Percentage-wise, Grey Knights seem to be pretty high too. I don't know if we've seen this
Mm.
the saturation compared to other fat forces here.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Usually we associate Grey Knights as an identity with more like the Scandinavian region, but they are pretty prolific across I suppose, the top of Europe is pretty Grey Knight mad. And Grey Knights is another one very similar to Shadow Legion that just have a very even performance across the board. Even in a bad matchup, you can play very effectively for a high score regardless. So yeah, they're one of those like kind of evergreen, but they need the pilot. They need to be a very comfortable, very proficient player to get those results. The other one I'd like to point out is that I'm just really, really happy that Orcs haven't hit a nosedive. I was really worried, Tactical got a couple of changes, and then, of course, Daka came out, took the world by storm, and then, got put in the box. And I really was worried that Orc numbers would nosedive, and it hasn't been the case. And I'm really happy to see that. So they've got 7 in attendance here, and I think that's perfectly fine. They'd be 4th on our tier list, faction list, if that was the case. But I have one list to pull out for your viewing pleasure. I went through a lot of lists, and I don't want to say that the Germans were boring, because they're so so full of life and vigor and passion. But I looked at many of the other top players, and guys who've played for WTC for them before, a lot of the known names to myself at least, and a lot of them were playing stuff that I just kind of like, yeah, fair enough. It's just the best. It's just a very good Ultramarines list. It's just a very good Blood Angels list. It's just very good this list, that is, like the meta list. So I went down the pile a little bit, and I found a gentleman who played there for Team Germany at the WTC last year. This is Caillou Orellana. Playing Assimilation Swarm Tyranids, Dustin.
Mad lad.
You should take it away from there after you get the slide up for everybody, because there is a lot of list in this list, which isn't what I usually think of with Assimilation Swarm. I usually expect to see Swarm Lord, big units of warriors, big units of the multi-wound mid Gribblies, but this has like a real strong MSU feel.
I think Assimilation Swarm actually benefits from some strong MSU because of some of their rules. But anyway, it is Assimilation Swarm with the Brood Lord with Instinctive Defense, which I believe is the heroic for free and fights first. If you're near a Harvester unit, that's just beautiful. Hive Tyrant with... Why did you put that?
To see if I could make you read it.
No, I'm not saying it. Hive Tyrant with nothing, no upgrades. Parasite of Mortrex, Turbigon, 10 Gargoyles, 20 Turbigons, a Biovore, 2 Execrenes, 10 Steelers to go with the Brood Lord, obviously, so that is a scary fights first unit. Then a Lictor, a Psychophage, 2x2 Pyrovores, 3x1 Rippers, 3 Venom Throps, and then I love this 3x3 Zone Throps. I love that in Assimilation Swarm. Love that.
I'm actually going to go on the record and say I don't like big units of Zoanthropes anymore. I think there are too many things like Rogel Dawns out there. There are too many things like the big knights that we're seeing floating around, lots of Imperial Knights and stuff like that are extremely good at dunking on larger units of multi-wound.
Do they just put too many wounds on them to...
Correct.
Well, there are only 3 wounds, right? Because
exactly
with all that 3 damage weapon out there, you fail 4 up, you lose a Zoanthrope. And
correct.
I mean,
I much prefer 2x3 than 1x6, is what I'm saying.
The only time I like the 6 is if you have a Neuro Tyrant with it, because they're hitting on 2s.
That's fair. That is actually quite good.
And you can also get plus 1 to wound too, but yeah.
Yeah. If you took them in Invasion as well, you could up them with the Feel No Pain, then they get a little bit more.
Back. Or in Vanguard, you get uppy downy them. Like there's reasons to take them, but generally speaking, I like the 3 beds, especially in Assimilation, because if you don't kill them, one's going to come back most likely.
Yeah.
So you have to commit a little bit more than you want to, and they could just spike our invulns. Plus, they can spread it more,
as they are wont to do.
They're taken here as the transport solutions, right? Because this list doesn't, without them, has essentially Execrenes for popping transports, whereas Execrenes are so much better at killing the stuff inside the transports than the Zoanthrope. So they're trying to do that instead, and that's in lieu of taking stuff like a Tyrannofex, which is far more expensive, far harder to use and wield and maneuver.
Yeah, and they still have the Tyrant there, so they can advance and shoot with them too, and get lethals even on their blast weapon as well. So it's actually, I love that. I really love that. That's beautiful.
And I also love that this player, it looks like Caillou's looked at a lot of guard lists and been like, well, every guard list has 20 mans back in it again. So 20 guard must be good in the meta at the moment. Oh yeah, and they're regenning. I guess I'll take the 20 Termagants and the Tervagon. Let's see.
Maybe I'll regen 2.
Yeah. Well, it gets 2 sets of regen, right? In this, the Tervagon regens and Assimilation will regen them as well.
Yep. Simulation can technically regen them up to like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, correct.
Like
So
it gets silly.
Like that,
It gets
if
silly.
you can't one-shot the gaunts, and I mean they're a lot easier to one-shot than the guard, who can have an effective 3-up save. Like
True.
they can be a 4-up in cover.
However, they're going to be in stealth. They're going to be -1 to hit, and they're going to have zone throws through them. So they're going to have an invuln as well.
Correct.
Yeah. And they're going to have a field of pain because they're psychophage. Like they're going to be annoying to kill.
Wow.
Spot on. I like it a lot. And then you have the gargoyles for a bit of jail duty. You have the termagants to take up mid-board space, and then you have the gene stealers as the response force to go in and punch whatever tries to go in and take the board away from the termagants or contain them.
Also, you can tell this is someone that plays Tyranids because they know the right number of Pyrovores is 2. Because you can't bring 3 on and shoot with all of them from reserve.
Nope, never.
They're too big to all be in range. It's
Too
silly. They're too fat, but probably going to start them on the board anyway. But it gives them the option to actually keep them off and then bring them on later because they are the harvester keyword as well. So,
all right, my lads, time to pick us some winners. I shall roll a dice.
That's
Dustin,
really
you can
hard.
call your shot. We did the Tyranid list. You can call your shot.
I love that list. I really do. It's going to be a 5.
I assumed Paul was 3 and 4.
Yeah,
I'll be whatever. I don't know. Whatever you were thinking in your head before you rolled the die, I'll go with.
Yeah, it was Paul. So I assumed I was 1 and 2. Paul was 3 and 4. It was a 4.
Oh my goodness. Demons.
Great choice. Dusty boy, you want to put in the nids?
I want to, but it's such a good list. It's such a good list. I have to go Imperial Knights.
Oh, you son of a! Why did I let you pick before? Why did I let you pick before me?
Votan's still open. We know it's a hotbed of Votan activity.
It's dude. It absolutely is. You are spot on. It's Germany. Slam that Votan down.
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm literally picking Knights because I think Knights are one of the few things that are able to deal with that Votan list.
It's true. I don't love it though.
Was it Scout 9 on Voting a lot going for them.
They do. They are very elite, so they can get picked up by the Knights, and usually they'll have the one big one. So it, from experience from last weekend, I could. Yeah.
There you go. The burn hand learns best, I guess.
Yes.
Next event we're going to be covering is the SSG Miniature Metropolis. This is from Stockholm, Sweden. 97 players over a 5-round event. And shout out to Frank Kummel, who helped us with the stats for this event. Really appreciate it when players reach out from the event and give us a little info, a little insight beyond just what's on the page there about what's happening at their events. We'd love that. Keep it coming, everybody. What are we going to see there?
So for the Imperial Super Faction, there are 2 Sisters of Battle, 6 Custodes, 6 Astra Militarum, 5 Imperial Knights, Space Marines. There's 12 Adeptus Astartes, 3 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 1 Blood Angel, and 2 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 2 Chaos Space Marines, 3 Death Guard, 3 World Leaders, 8 Emperor's Children, 5 Demons, and 6 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 6 Necrons, 4 Orcs, 1 Tau, 1 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 12 Tyranids. Wow! And 1 Gene Stealer Cult. This is where I picked Tyranids. Eldari was 1 Drukhari and 6 Eldari, which means the faction podium is Tyranids tying Astartes, and then Emperor's Children at 8, and then Eldari, Krons, Chaos Knights, Astra Militarum, and Custodes all tied at 6.
That's a crazy podium.
That's a crazy podium. I love that podium. That is a wild podium. Big fan. Big fan, Sweden. Well done.
Yes, well done. Chaos Knights being right up there is kind of the flavor of Sweden at the moment. They are pretty Chaos Knight centric, much more than the Imperial Knights that we may be seeing the rest of the world over. And also Stodes, of course, Custodes always kind of making those podiums. But Emperor's Children, I believe, making a podium for the first time on the show. Is that correct, boys?
Yeah, I was right. I can't remember if we had one last week or not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to look. I'm going to assume we're right.
Yeah, either way, they are starting to put up those numbers and they're starting to stake their claim as a force in the meta. Tyranids. I had to ask the gentleman I was chatting to about this, like, why so many Tyranids? Why? I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I just wanted an insight into the geographical nuance of this, and they just have a lot of strong Tyranid players. They have a lot of strong Tyranid culture up in Sweden, which is not something I'd recognized before. So I was very happy to see.
Are they WTC terrain?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will check. He told me.
So at least a couple Crusher then, but I think Invasion Fleet's still the most popular one, and then Vanguard is the other one.
Hit the next slide, brother.
Oh, you
Tyrionid's
did that. That's what you did?
Tyrionid's detachment breakdown. Let's go.
I was so close. I was so close.
You did say a couple of Crusher. There was.
I did, but I said Vanguard instead of Assimilation. That's crazy. I love it. That's crazy.
I am so much more on the assimilation side. I'm actually really down with assimilation. I think it's fantastic.
It is. It really is. I just Vanguard. I guess that's the North American speaking in me because we love our Vanguard over here.
Games Workshop layouts, boys.
Oh, that explains that then.
Yeah,
then I wouldn't have even guessed Crusher at that point, to be honest.
Nah. Crusher goes all right though. Crusher goes just.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
But yep, that makes sense. Invasion Fleet's definitely going to be the most popular one for sure, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Which makes perfect sense. Which it is. So all your Biomaster belong to us with 8 Invasion Fleet, 2 Assimilation Swarm, and 2 Crusher Stampede. I love that Assimilation Swarm is coming. It's not even got that big of a glow up anytime soon. The last time it did was the Norn getting the Harvester keyword, which it should have had to begin with. But other than that,
so what do you think is this a response to then?
Is it going to be no? Because you know what, I can't think of it because it's not going to immerse children.
Simulations.
Yeah, the assimilation is it because this is now. I mean, we have not talked about it in quite some time, and live and breathing ecosystem, and what could adapt to that ecosystem better than Tyranids?
Well, to be honest, the Assimilation Swarm with like the World Eaters and the Emperor's Children, it might be the Fight First upgrade.
So there's two things. So I will tell you right now that unfortunately Tyranid's damage output is only getting worse. As this game goes on, their damage output's only declining, and so they're starting to lean further into durability aspects. Assimilation Swarm being one of the case points for durability, not in the fact that you make things more durable face up, you get stuff back, so you kind of act like a pseudo Necron, and you can take enough multi-wound bodies with enough redundancy of save that you kind of get value out of it. So I see that as a decent idea. Plus, Crusher is pretty much leaning on the same things. Vanguard might as well be next to Adeptus Mechanicus for the fact that he can't actually do meaningful damage against the vast majority of profiles. Like your best kind of units you have to throw in Vanguards ain't going to kill any Custody Wardens, let alone the 3 units of 6 that they've got. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's only going to get worse when Death Guard hit the meta, and that's kind of already really bad for them in a multitude of matchups at the moment. So I think they've got to go into more durability skews and start playing the mission even heavier. So Invasion Fleet, Assimilation, and Crusher makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, no, that can make sense with that one. I do like the Assimilation Swarm a lot for that, because it's like you have to bring these Harvester units, which, to be honest, they're not bad to take. The only ones that feel bad to take are Rippers, but for the points, it's like, all right, sure, I'll put a 25-point unit in to heal my guys near it. And zone the area. Why not?
Easy done. All right. I have one more detachment breakdown for you before a spicy list. This one is just Emperor's Children, and it was just funny. So 8 out of 8 of Emperor's Children players are taking Coterie of the Conceited. Very diverse, much demure.
Very diverse. Well, good to see the Emperor's Children guys going very, very unique with their builds.
It's clear to me that the Emperor's Children community has zeroed in on the place they want to start before they spread out into a couple of other detachments. Because
it is still pretty new.
I see them as having legitimately 3. Some people would even argue 4 takeable detachments. I think there's definitely 3: the Slaneshi, the Carnival, the Slaneshi one, the Peerless Bladesman, because it's just got extremely good enhancements with fights first, fights twice, and the Distortion Prince, and then Coterie of the Conceited. So and especially when people aren't good at playing into it yet, like they don't quite understand how to try and throttle those early kills, so it doesn't really power up on you. This is going to be an extremely strong place to start the game.
I was also thinking that maybe there's like the available models and what people may have in their collection may play into what detachment is the early favorite versus what becomes the long-term favorite. But yeah, I think you've hit it on the head. There's a ramp up in this, and people may not be planning for that yet.
Yeah. All right. So we have one list to pull out. This is Jesper Ununderstaden from
that was pretty good.
Just go with confidence.
Wow.
Act like however you said it is how it's meant to be said. I've also said this guy's name on streams at WTC very often, as I've called a bunch of his games. So
I'm less impressed, but I guess
fine.
Still, you remember, so well done.
He is playing Emperor's Children. Can you guess what detachment it is, boys? Though? No, never mind. He's got his coterie. Triple Demon Prince with wings. Do I hear whispers? Do I hear, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a Flyrant. It essentially is a Flying Hive Tyrant from ages gone past, where it can kind of just do a bit of everything. One of which has the Pledge of Mortal Pain, 3 Lord Exaltants, and Lucius the Eternal. So no Lord Cacophonus. So he's really just going with the Noise Marines for a bit of fire support rather than them being the thing that's going to really power up the list. 3x5 Infractors to go with the Lord Exaltants to make your little trading packages. 1x5 Tormentors for some turn 1 sticky and bits and pieces. It's just 3x5 Noise Marines. That's illegal. It's actually 3x6. I do apologize.
I was going to ask.
3 Rhinos and a unit of 2 Spawn. What do we reckon of that list, boys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the list.
Talk about an enhancement that does what it says, the Pledge of Mortal Pain. This is not mortal wounds. So that's pretty good on something that can already put up a bunch of high damage attacks.
Yeah.
So liking that.
And they already do mortal wounds on the charge. So all of them do mortal wounds. So it's just like a triple tank shock, essentially, from each of those.
It's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. Yeah.
Except it's better because it's on 4.
And then one of them has a super tank shock. So yeah, it's
it
interesting
like,
that. Yep, go.
So with the 3 Rhinos, like you could make the footprint of this list incredibly small if you needed to.
Indeed. Yeah, because it can just be 5 Tormentors on the field, and then everything else is inside a Rhino apart from the 3 Demon Princes. So yeah, and the 2 Spawn. Like it's really, really low. So you can have 3 Rhinos, 2 Spawn. I guess Lucius as well somewhere. But I love this list. I think this list is excellent. It's really well built. I personally like the Lord Cacophonus and going a bit heavier into the shooting to try and actually like pop transports and stuff, because that's what I see as being the barrier to entry here. Like if you were to rock up against a 6 Sagittar list or a couple of Hecatons, you can't really dome one of those in one turn, even with kind of like, unless you have like 3 or 4 units going into it. But the fact that this list is so quick, and like I said, it plays very similar to some old versions of Tyranids when they're just everything is ultra fast. Doesn't necessarily hit like ultra hard, but hits hard enough to get the job done and can kind of hit you anywhere it needs to. And yeah, I love it a lot. I think it's a great list.
Everything you need in there: the Infractors, Noise Marines, Tormentors, even. But I think some people have kind of started going away from Rhinos. I think that's a mistake. I think this army specifically, especially with Infractors, Noise Marines, are like the perfect to go into a Rhino, like the perfect combo. But I am like a transport nut. Like I always
Rhino enthusiast.
Oh, right, not necessarily a Rhino enthusiast, but a 12 capacity transport enthusiast.
Yeah,
I kind of felt the same way about the BA list we talked about. You know, is in another conversation is that, you know, where are the impulsors and stuff. I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I know, maybe, but has the world progressed where terrain and the other list choices where people are taking things that are specifically anti-transport. So if you don't have a transport, then that last cannon is only killing one guy. You know, so like, have we come around already on that?
Maybe, but I mean, the Blood Angels are one of those armies that their infantry are mostly. I say this because I'm remembering that there's Blade Guard now, and they're mostly jump packs.
No, I just mean like in general, it's like the idea of people are teching against transports now.
Sure.
So are transports becoming less viable because, you know, people are kind of wasting some points trying to deal with that.
Might make sense.
That
makes sense. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a perfect point when we looked at that Blood Angel list, who's not bringing transports, but still bringing anti-transport tech.
So right? I mean, so again, this is just the things we look at as we look at the trends of lists and you know what winners are taking out there. Really interesting right now. Great time to be playing Warhammer.
Only other thing I'd mention is how good these Rhinos are, because essentially these Rhinos are predators. When you're shooting 2 blast masters out the top plus combi weapons, havoc launchers, stuff like that, it's much more closer to. I mean, it's better than a Razorback, not quite as good as a Predator, but it's somewhere in the middle for way less points. And yeah, I'm a huge fan, big fan of this. Yeah, okie dokie. Time to pick
see what people are doing there for Children right now. I know a lot of people are fans of that faction and want to get things on the table. If you are building models right now, I think this is a great list to start with.
Exactly right. All right, I'm going to go first. I'm putting down the EC, and I've already put in Tyranids for Dustin. So, Paul, what do you want?
I mean, I was going to do it, so yeah.
My goodness.
There's good Astartes numbers. Eldari, Cons.
I got to look at where we at. We're in Sweden.
Yeah,
I'm going with Necrons.
not a bad
Ooh,
choice.
That's good. That's good.
Not a bad choice. I'd also like to point out one thing about that Emperor's Children enhancement, the Pledge of Mortal Pain, which is makes them take a battle shock within 12 in the shooting phase. So one of the things that I think really hurts Emperor's Children is the fact that they can hit you wherever you are, but they'll most likely be hitting you on multiple fronts. Interrupt and fight on deaths are very premium against them. So having the chance to just point at a unit and battle shock it, and then have full face-up knowledge of whether that unit can fight on death or interrupt before you send everything in, I think is really important. I actually think that's very key. I just had a read of that, and I'm like, yep, that's it. That's where it makes sense.
If you made it this far, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you like what we do each week and you haven't already done it, hit the bell. That way you can be notified when we go live. And I think maybe it tells you when we go live. But anyway, if it doesn't, that should tell you when we go live. We do this live each and every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you're listening to us after the fact, we do go out to the podcast aggregators. Now you can come and hang out with us in the great chat community that we've got. It is awesome hearing from folks, and let us know. If you do make it and come in for the first time next week, we want to hear about that. This is the part in the show, though, we have a little bit of a palate cleanser. Sometimes this segment has extremely little to do with Warhammer 40,000. Sometimes it has a lot to do with Warhammer 40,000. Dustin is beaming in from space.
I'm blurry. There we go. I'm here. You only get to see this if you're watching this live or after the fact. Oh my God. Okay.
This segment here is a bit of a palate cleanser after talking about all the crunchy hard stats of the meta, the wins, the losses, the points, the tactics, the skill, the sweat. This is where we get to ease into the weekend with a segment we call the Fuego Rapido, where we give ourselves a series of topics and then typically a clock to run down. We haven't been using the clock recently, I don't think. But
it's been too hard.
We've been using it, but we haven't been honoring it at all.
But the urgency is there. And we fire off some very hot takes on whatever the topic is. We're going through a bit of a gauntlet of crowning the best. Someone even said, "You didn't pick what I wanted, so I turned it off." That is exactly the emotion that we are feeling as well.
That's right. We get it too.
Well, no one's stormed off yet, knocking down.
I think you stormed off once early on.
Yeah, not from this segment though.
No.
You guys just you zinged me a little too zingingly. I couldn't stand for it.
It burns. But this is the hard one, and this was the topic suggested by one of our patrons. And in the segments like this, we run these down once and forever. Once we've gone over a topic like this, we abandon it, never to return to it again, unless demanded by the Patreon group. And that's what led to this crown of the best. And what's the genre this week?
It's the drama genre. Now, again, because we've had to squeeze a couple that we've forgotten other genres, there's some in here that might not feel quite drama-ish, but needed to be included somewhere. So
we'll bring the drama.
Yeah. They're going to be drama today. All right. So
this is a tough one. I don't know that I'm as knowledgeable on dramas.
Yeah. Well, see, I actually thought that too until I looked at all the movies in here, and no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Hey, here we go.
Remember, these are the drama movies that we came up with like a couple additions from the chat. So,
and do let us know in the comments, or in the chat too, what you think, where we are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But there's three of us. We vote, and
this is
the winner is the winner.
The winner's the winner. All right, so here we go. First up in the best drama category.
The drama.
Apocalypse Now versus Dune.
Is that Dune?
Which is the better one, Paul? Which is the better one?
That's a great question.
See, we better figure that out first before we
because I love the original Dune, even though it is way far away and a lot of beats.
It was very good.
The actual story, but I really enjoyed it because when you're watching it for the first time, I didn't read the book at that point in time. I was 7 or something. I don't know, who knows, but
the original was fantastic.
Sting was in that one.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Oh, look, I still think that as a fan of Dune and the universe, the justice the remake has done to the book is pretty dang close.
Pretty good.
It's kind of as close as
very
you can
impressed
get without a 19-hour exposition.
Well, that was my one disappointing side of the first one. When I'm in the theaters, I'm like, oh, this this is not ending.
This-
This is a two-parter at least.
Yeah.
That was before
So
we knew, right?
My vote is for Dune over Apocalypse Now. I enjoyed Apocalypse Now. I enjoyed the acting, the casting, fantastic, the story. I just found it. That's another one that I feel like dragged.
Oh man, I can no doubt that it is a little bit extended, but it also has some amazing moments in it. I'm going to go with Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Normally, I'd be upset about that, but I already have mine. I know what mine is for this. And wow, chat is all over Apocalypse Now. Wow. Well, sorry, chat, but it's Dune.
Oh,
for
you
me.
must make a friend of horror.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's back in that movie. Lawrence Fishburne was going as Larry Fishburne. That's how
Yeah,
far back
Wow.
it was, and he was in that movie. Did you know Lawrence Fishburne was in that movie? Like, there's all kind of people in that movie.
Did you like Patrick Stewart's in it too, isn't he?
Yeah. Patrick Stewart's in Dune. I wasn't talking about.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Dune. I don't care about
I don't
Apocalypse
think
Now.
Lawrence
I already got rid of that.
Although,
I'm not even
surprised,
thinking
he's
about
amazing.
that. I'm not even thinking about that. See, this is how much Apocalypse Now's gone out of my mind already.
Look, you can type or surf. Dad knows I'm right.
So
They-
I got a weird take on Apocalypse Now, which you might all disagree with, and it's totally fine. I think it's the weakest of the Vietnam movies.
What do you count? Like Platoon,
Platoon and Full Metal
and,
Jacket. I put as a
Full Metal Jacket.
also-
They're
Well,
not. They're not the same
they're
movie.
both in here too. So
They're not. But those aren't the same movies.
No, they're not. They're not. But yeah, I feel like Apocalypse Now is like co-opting a moment in time to enhance the storyline rather than it being truly about the Vietnam War and its struggles.
It's not about the Vietnam War. It's about the Heart of Darkness. It's based on a book that is like it's just a platform for the story.
Quinn says Platoon is garbage. You're breaking my heart, mate.
I do agree
Yeah.
that Apocalypse Now it felt like a drag to me. It did. Like it's great. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But it felt like
Look,
a drag. To me. And Dune was
It was
longer
it
than
Timothy
anything.
Chalamet and Zendaya are in the remake of Apocalypse Now. Y'all be changing your mind.
Speaking of honoring the clock, next one.
I said
the first one.
I had more comments to make.
That's fair. So 2-1 Dune, like 2 to 1.5, I would think, because I think chat was pretty heavy on Apocalypse Now. All right, next up, Forrest Gump versus Schindler's List.
Gosh, diggity damn. That's a big two of the best movies of all time, according to Oscars nominations and everything else. In round
Man, what
one.
a round one.
Right?
God damn.
And we weren't sure if drama would be something that we even know. Like, but look, guys,
I mean,
it's just rough.
for the significance. I mean, you got a Schindler's List is, of course, just done in black and white in a time period where I think Liam Neeson's in it. Isn't Liam Neeson?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. He's Oscar Schindler.
Oh man.
Okay, is Forrest Gump?
Go on.
Well, I'm trying to think. Was it just a string of scenes, or is it a whole movie?
Yes.
To both.
It was both of those.
I think I have to go Schindler's List here. Just for sheer impact, storytelling, narrative, capturing the horror and horrificness. Forrest Gump is kind of just a D&D adventure for a guy. And as much as I love Forrest Gump, I think it's an exceptional movie with one of the best soundtracks of any film of all time. I'm going to go Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, I think too. It has to take it for me.
I have to go Schindler's List as well. Forrest Gump is incredible. I hate Jenny so much. I know.
Jenny.
She is the worst villain of all time.
Literally the worst.
Literally the worst. Yeah. So Schindler's List is going to take that one 3-0, I think, from us anyway. Chat is pretty divided.
Yeah.
I think Schindler's is still winning there. Okay. We did chat good that time. All right. Next up, Full Metal Jacket versus Pulp Fiction.
What have you done to me?
Listen.
So for me, Full Metal Jacket's the second best war movie ever made. The first one being Saving Private Ryan, of course.
I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio and
But
there.
Pulp freaking Fiction, baby,
Yeah.
is a hell of a film.
Pulp Fiction is like that took the world by storm.
I'm going Pulp Fiction. You guys figure out the rest of it.
So this is to me two of the best directors of all time. This is Tarantino versus Kubrick, and like wow. So I'm going Full Metal Jacket because I believe Full Metal Jacket deserves a vote here, but I'm pretty sure Pulp Fiction wins.
If there are other Kubrick films on this, then you have to answer. I don't know. So, but
yeah, it's
I'm saying it's probably going to be in contention as well.
Yeah, so we got somebody in chat, probably Pulp Fiction, but you guys are breaking my heart. Yeah, this absolutely breaks my heart.
It's literally back and forth in here. Yeah. So is it? Did you say Pulp Fiction, Paul, or did you say?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more because, like with Pulp Fiction, just the performances that everyone gave in that. I mean, it revived some careers. There are things people took risks.
Yeah.
So, and unlike Forrest Gump, where you could say there was good scenes and bad scenes in that kind of interchangeable, this is kind of many different narratives woven together or one person's timeline. This does it at a much higher and more complex level where it's intertwining multiple different storylines at the same time, very similar to like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and stuff like that. You could just take an individual scene out of this and it's like perfect. Like the diner scene. The diner scene is perfection, is absolutely like from start to finish, the acting, portrayals, everything fantastic. Anyway,
all right, next up, Shawshank Redemption versus Tombstone.
Okay,
now, this is Tombstone for me. Like there's I
think Tombstone all day long, but like
I'm Shawshank Redemption on this.
Okay, would you feel differently if like every time you turned on the TV Shawshank wasn't on? Like you've seen Shawshank,
the saturation of Shawshank Redemption
a bazillion trillion times on TBS or whatever.
So my issues with Tombstone and
be careful.
You have issues with Tombstone?
Be careful.
Having delved into some of the stories of Wyatt Earp and all those other things, I wish they had portrayed him as an anti-hero rather than a reluctant hero, because that seems to be much more of what his story was. Whereas, man, the Shawshank freaking Redemption is another perfect film from start to finish, inside out. The casting, there was the first time we all realized that Morgan Freeman was the best narrator of any film ever. He narrated that film and so freaking good. Everything about Shawshank Redemption is perfect. It gets my vote.
Smurf Ep said Shawshank, no question. Even though Grandpa was in Tombstone, that's one of the reasons I'm voting for Tombstone.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like you're seeing double. I got two guns.
Look. That
is Val Kilmer's best role. I'm sorry, that is his best role. He was so good as Doc Holliday.
So good.
That breaks my heart. We're not friends.
Yeah. Shawshank Redemption, I just think is a better movie than Tombstone. Sorry,
Paul.
Tombstone has my vote.
Yep. Okay. Tombstone 2-1 Shawshank.
You sons of...
I am not sad about that. I'm not sad about that.
I am so insulted.
I'm not sad. Shawshank didn't deserve that, but
look, if they played Tombstone as often as Shawshank, my channel would be burned in screen probably on Tombstone.
1000%. Yeah. I will watch Tombstone any day of the week, anytime. I love that movie.
How many Oscars did Tombstone get?
Doesn't matter. I don't watch it for the Oscars.
Okay. Probably 3 less than Highlander got.
0.
And Highlander's the greatest movie of all time.
His logic
Have you seen it?
Won an Oscar. His logic is flawless. You can't argue with it.
Greatest movie of all time.
Greatest movie ever made.
Yep.
Nominated for 7, didn't win any.
Oh, it didn't win any either. Oh, you got wrecked on him. You get out of here. You don't know shit about shit.
That sound.
Yeah, I'm just making noise over here. Don't worry about me.
Just making noise. Okay.
It was look. You could have, if we didn't have the internet, we probably would have believed you.
Well, yeah, I would have. I 100% would have believed you. In fact, I
love to have this.
I was trying to shut you down because I figured you were going to find it.
All right, let's move on.
Next one: The Godfather versus Unforgiven.
Godfather.
Yeah, it's got to be Godfather, right?
It is The Godfather because The Godfather, like, is also like an archetype that people like have have cloned, but the Unforgiven is a great movie.
Unforgiven
It's a great
is also
movie.
amazing, yeah.
But yeah, Godfather's one of
But
the best movies of all
Godfather,
time.
yeah, Godfather's no question. Next up, Clockwork Orange versus Casablanca.
I'm not a huge Casablanca fan.
I'm not a huge Clockwork Orange fan, so.
Oh, okay. I'm Clockwork Orange then.
Casablanca, it's on you, Paul.
Yeah. Oh man, I should have answered fast.
How does it feel?
So I'm actually not a huge Clockwork Orange fan either, but I also think it's very descriptive of some almost like parodies or dramatizations of the time and some of the fears at the time. And I think that is also a Kubrick film, right?
It is Kubrick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to give it to that because Casablanca just has that what 1-2 scenes that we all love.
Yeah, exactly right. It's incredible at the times. The acting is very, very good. The cast is fantastic, but it's not
I love
a
the
super.
film.
Yeah, me too. It's not a super memorable film though. Like when I think about Casablanca, like I do, I think about the one-liners rather than.
When I think about that
overall
movie,
story.
I think more about a feeling about what I feel
Yeah.
about that whole time period, and I know
Yeah.
it encapsulates that time. It's like when you get a scent of something that is familiar and takes you back. That's the way I feel about Casablanca, and I feel like A Clockwork Orange is a better film for those reasons that I described.
So Clockwork Orange 2-1.
Looks like it.
All right. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. Next up, Platoon versus Apollo 13.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Some of the chat feels already.
I'm going Platoon, but
too.
I'm a Platoon fan.
Yeah, me too.
Like Apollo 13, though, is like everybody knows the outcome, but you're still on the edge of your seat.
It was really well written, really well acted. Great movie.
Who is it? It's Tom Hanks, Bill Pullman, and
yeah. The cast of Apollo 13 was
what? Game Over Man's in it, isn't he?
Yeah, Baxton.
Oh, maybe that's who I thought. Maybe that's what I was thinking about.
I can't believe that's how I remember that guy. I'm sorry, he deserves better than that, but that's where I know him from. Sorry.
Yeah, Apollo 13 is getting all the votes in chat, and I would not be mad if Apollo.
Nope, I wouldn't either.
What did you vote for, Dustin?
I voted for Platoon.
There you go.
You're going for Platoon?
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough. This really is tough because they're so good for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, you know what? I'm actually going to change my vote.
Whoa!
Based on chat. Yeah, I'm actually going to go Apollo 13.
Whoa! Adam
Apollo 13. I was thinking like Willem Dafoe's in Platoon, and that
he is very good.
My only criticisms of Platoon is it's little bit overacted. Like it's a little.
It is. It's in that period of time to where like I think overacting was it. So Apollo 13.
Oh, really? Did that just happen?
I
wow.
It. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay, 2-1 for Apollo 13. What just happened? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm not upset because Apollo 13 it definitely deserves to be here. All right, next up.
I don't know.
Citizen Kane versus Saving Private Ryan.
Willem Dafoe.
No, it's all right. It's gone. It's over, Paul. It's over.
Too late, Paul.
It's too late.
It's over.
It's over.
I got this one hair on my mustache getting up my nose.
It's that scene though, in Apollo 13, where we all know what happens, and we're still just
Yeah. True. That's a good way to look at it. We all know what happens. We're still on the edge of our seat. Last of round one is Citizen Kane versus Saving Private Ryan.
Citizen Kane is fantastic, but I am a stone cold Saving Private Ryan fan. I think it's the best war movie that's ever been made. It's the truest depiction of any like actual conflict that I've ever seen. And as far as I can tell, I wasn't there. And so yeah, it's I think as far as a drama and a war movie goes, that also has an underlying like lovely narrative of trying to bring a dude home when to his family when all those other things have happened, whilst in this hellscape.
To go and get.
Sorry?
But all the life lost along the way to go and save one person.
The futility. And that's another underlying, futility of war message.
A buddy of mine.
I'm a big fan of Citizen Kane.
Go see it in the theater. And we were just riveted, like basically sit there slack jawed for the first hour of the movie.
Yeah.
But there's a great Kids in the Hall sketch that is totally not based on Citizen Kane, or as a Citizen Kane is a subject.
I'm also Citizen Kane.
Oh, wow, fair enough. Yeah, fair
Citizen
enough.
Kane is like often talked about in the best movie of all time.
It's correct. Yeah, it's
like,
correct. So I'm not unhappy with that.
Storytelling.
And that's not taking away from Saving Private Ryan. It went up against the
No, it's
monster.
You know, it's like a movie, like a newspaper mogul.
Yep.
It's not Citizen Kane.
All right, what's up next?
All right, now we got round 2. So it starts off with Dune versus Schindler's List.
Sorry, Dune. Going down. Schindler's List is my pick.
It's still Dune for me.
Did we decide on which Dune it was? Because I didn't go for Dune in the first place.
Whatever one is your favorite.
We got to nail it down. It's very important right
It's
now.
the new one. It's the part.
I think
part
it's the
one
new
of
one.
the
Yeah,
remake.
part one
is what I believe would be
Schindler's
the
List.
easiest thing.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not upset about that.
Oh,
Schindler's List 2-1 Dune. Next up, Pulp Fiction versus Tombstone.
Pulp Fiction for me.
Tombstone.
Oh shit.
versus Pulp Fiction.
Yep. If it makes it, Tombstone's going to go to the end for me. So that's
Pulp Fiction's got it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I think just Pulp Fiction is a vastly superior film. Yeah,
for all the reasons that describe the risks,
Oh,
the
yeah.
careers, the the
No, that's fair.
storytelling.
Next up is The Godfather versus Does It Matter?
Oh, wait a second. Hang on.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. I was going to do the bye.
Bah.
What's Godfather up against?
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, no, it is Godfather.
Does it matter?
I don't know what's beating it. It might end up being Citizen Kane Godfather at the end of this.
Not how the bracket works.
No. That's right. They're going to catch each other in the
Because
semis.
first we got to go to Citizen Kane versus Apollo 13.
It's Citizen Kane. Yeah.
Citizen Kane, right?
Yeah.
It's always the later rounds easier. It's crazy.
It is.
Okay. And then The Godfather versus Citizen Kane.
I'm going The Godfather. I think in two of the best movies that have ever been made, my personal preference is The Godfather.
I think I'm going to go with The Godfather also.
It's Godfather for me too.
But
that may be because of the.
For me, I think it's the age period. Like I watched The
Yeah.
Godfather like in my like teens, and I didn't even know Citizen Kane existed until like I was in high school, and like people were talking about, we kind of got a bit artsy fartsy and started watching like David Lynch and all these other films, and then we looked back to where like David Lynch films kind of got a lot of their inspiration, and the trail leads back to Citizen Kane, and we ended up watching it then, and so it wasn't kind of the formative time for me. Yeah. That's all it is, because I think they're equally incredible best movies of all time.
Rosebud, KR. Rosebud.
Yeah.
What you're able to do with the technology you have at the time says a lot about the filmmaker, like Hitchcock. Yeah, I'm maybe misquoting the interview, but he's like, the scene in the shower, in Psycho, like, what is your secret? He's like, you see the knife move 37 times and it never touches the body, but yet you're like, and you don't know that. You don't until you go back and you're right. There is actually nothing here that happens. It's just the way it was shot that terrified you,
Yeah.
And it was probably catch up for blood for all we knew or whatever. But that's the kind of stuff that they were able to do in those movies, and the storytelling, and then of course,
Very interesting. No, Hitchcock films made this list. That is interesting. Or are they over in the thrillers and the?
I think they were in the thrillers. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the thrillers. And then we have Schindler's List versus Pulp Fiction.
Oh, come on.
All right.
I'm sorry, my internet connection's getting weak.
Yeah.
My fish needs to go for a walk. Oh, geez, I'm going to go against Schindler's List. I'm going to go Pulp Fiction now. Schindler's List, as incredible as it is, it is a very hard movie to watch. I have yet to watch it a second time in my life.
That's not unfair.
I've yet to want to be punished again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's exactly what that movie is supposed to do to you, by the way.
These lists have nothing, or only one component is historical significance, I think.
Well, I'm actually picking Schindler's List for the exact same reason that you are saying, Adam, because it inflicts that kind of visceral reaction. Yeah.
Emotional reaction.
Visceral emotional reaction. Yeah. So for me, it's Schindler's List.
Gotta go Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction wins. Okay.
Whoa.
I literally had to go, what do I feel like watching right now? And I'm sorry to say, it's not Schindler's List.
I would say I would watch Pulp Fiction over Schindler's List. I just think Schindler's List is a better movie because of those reasons.
That's totally fair.
And this may be one of those things to where, like you mentioned, like I have not watched Schindler's List enough times to probably pick up on some of the stuff.
That's true.
I've watched it once. It was heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, and everything that it was supposed to be. And like, good God, I'm not.
Sometimes if a movie is so visceral that you can only watch it once, it's either the worst movie ever or it's
correct or the best.
Or the best.
That is true.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. That means
it is drama.
It is drama. That means the championships. Pulp Fiction versus The Godfather.
Sorry, Pulp Fiction. God freaking Father. Sweet.
I don't think Godfather was ever going to have any kind of competition here. Like, let's be real. I think this was just
only if Godfather went up against Schindler's List. Actually, if there would be the only time the only way the Godfather run could have been harder.
Yeah,
could have been harder, right? But I still would have.
But Pulp Fiction beat Schindler's List.
I know.
So how could you say that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't believe
the way the rounds shake out is
it's actually crazy. Round one often the hardest, like by far.
Would you have gone Godfather over Schindler's List?
Me?
Yeah.
You don't have to answer that because it's not.
That's true. I don't have to answer you. Yeah.
You're not
what? You never know now. I guess you should have put Schindler's List through if you wanted to know that answer. You missed out on that, Adam.
Yeah. So for me, the three best dramas of all time, though, if you were just going to go on just a one-watch movie, is like literally Godfather, Citizen Kane, and Schindler's List. Yeah. And Shawshank for me would be number 4, which you guys didn't vote for at all. You'd have freaking Tombstone or some nonsense.
Tombstone would have got if it went against Godfather, I would pick Tombstone, man. I love that movie.
Paul didn't even take the bait. He's escaped my barrel. I'm no longer fishing in the barrel. Fair.
I was lost in. I'm still in the drama mode. I'm like, what other movies are like would have given some of these other movies a run for their money? So if it ever comes up again, but what a ride! Chat, thanks a lot for hanging out with us. It has been amazing. Thank you all for participating in the Fuego. This is tough. Sweating bullets through some of these, and we're not done. We don't have put champions against champions soon. What's the category for next week?
Let me look. I'll pull it up right now because we got 3 more left before we go to the championship round. Next week we have historical fiction, actually.
All right.
Interesting.
Oh, 2 more, and then we have thriller after that.
Ooh, okay.
Well, looking forward to everything. Cannot wait. Again, if you're playing in the events, back to 40K. If you're playing in the events out there, best of luck to everyone. I hope you roll all the dice roll that you needed to do. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe. If you are able to do it, check us out on Patreon. This show takes a lot to put together, and that is one way to show support. Other hassle-free ways are leaving the comments down below. It's been a pleasure. We'll see y'all next week, everybody. Have a great night.
See you, everybody.